Hey, what is going now, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for another Breakfast with TNC episode. It's part 10 in the series. Yes, we're into double figures of beautiful breakfasts and spiffing news. Today, it's a bit of a small one because if you follow me on Snapchat, you know I had a big old kebab last night. If you're not following me on Snapchat, here's a plug. TalkNorwichCity, go over there. It's loads of fun. I had a kebab, no joke. It was literally hard work to pick it up. It was that heavy, and I'm still not hungry the next day. But I've got an extra shot cafe latte. Apparently it's intense, it's a bit of a pick-me-up, and a Nutrigrain bar. I've never had one of these things before. My mum brought it home and she was like, yeah, these are good. These things are good. It smells very strong. Yeah, that's good. In there we've got freshly roasted beans, Swiss milk, and more to it. It's a pick-me-up just when you need it. We never need a pick-me-up, but it's good to be fueled for breakfast with TNC. And the old classic, the oat and raisin Nutrigrain bar. I will never ever get bored of the Nutrigrain bar. Right, so lots of news today. We've got some transfer news. Yeah. Quite a lot of transfer news, but to start off, one of our championship rivals next season, Newcastle, have given their well-known manager, Rafael Benitez, a 3-year contract in which Rafael Benitez has accepted it. Big news coming out of Newcastle, and big news for us really as well, because Rafael Benitez is a manager with a whole wealth of experience. He's won the Champions League, he's won big things. And for Newcastle to keep hold of Rafael Benitez is a big shock. I didn't think he'd still be there. I didn't think he'd want to be managing in the Championship, but fair play to him. It says the 56-year-old has signed a new initial 3-year deal after opting not to exercise the release clause in the contract he signed in March to protect him in the event of relegation. He'll also have day-to-day responsibility for all football-related matters, which is probably the biggest news out of this, because I know Mike Ashley there and Lee Charnley, who's their managing director, sometimes the fans don't think that they give the full responsibility to the manager. And Rafael Benitez obviously knows what he's doing. As I said, he's won Champions League. He's been all over the place. This could go up one of two ways. It could mean that Newcastle are going to storm the league, which I think will happen. I think they'll get 100-odd points like the last time they dropped into the Championship. Newcastle aren't a Championship team. They've got amazingly big stadium. Their whole city lives and breathes football. Newcastle shouldn't be in the Championship. It's an absolute travesty to English football. But at the end of the day, they've got there because they didn't play well enough in the Premier League next season, which should mean it's a level playing field. The only thing I think is good about Rafael Benitez staying there for Newcastle is they'll be able to keep hold of the likes of Gini Wijnaldum, Andros Townsend, John Joe Shelby. You get players like that in the Championship, you start to think, Jesus, that's going to be worrying. But at the same time, it could go the other way. Will Rafael Benitez be fully up for away trips to Burton? I keep on saying it, but it's not as glamorous as playing against Ibrahimovic when he goes to United at Old Trafford or things like that. It's not as glamorous. You've got 2 games a week. It's hard work in the Championship. We know what it feels like. Newcastle will remember what it feels like from the last time they've been in it. Anyway, Rafael Benitez will be staying at St James's Park. The next bit of news is some transfer news. Graham Dorrans might be on his way to Rangers. This is coming out of the Scotsman. It says Mark Warburton is intent on strengthening his squad for the Scottish Premiership and has already brought in Joey Barton, Jordan Rossiter, Matt Crooks and Josh Windass. Dorrans is rumoured to be leaving Carrow Road in the summer and could follow Barton north to his boyhood heroes. Now this doesn't really have any sort of solid links. It's basically saying tying 2 things together. Graham Dorrans will probably be leaving in the summer, and he supports Rangers, and Rangers are in the Scottish Premiership. Any Scottish or any Rangers fan, if you get the opportunity to join Rangers fresh back into the Scottish Premiership, it's a huge move to you. I like Rangers. I like them as a team. They're my Scottish team, I guess. I don't like Celtic. I'm quite a big fan of Rangers. Fair play to Dorrans if he goes there. I'm not going to have any grudges against him. I thought he'd done well in our Championship campaign, scored a few goals to the tail end of it when we brought him in. did all he could in the Premiership, Premier League. God, don't say Premiership. He'll get shot for that. So yeah, Graham Dorrans could be on his way to Rangers. Let me know what you guys think about Graham Dorrans. Would you like to keep hold of him due to his Championship experience? The next bit of transfer news is Mbokani is set to leave his parent club. This is coming after some news from the Leopard Leader Foot, which is that a French website or something like that? It's all in, is that French? Yeah, that's French, isn't it? Yeah, that looks French to me. I've done GCC French, but I did fail it. I did get a D at GCC French. Don't ask me for French help. So yeah, it says here, this is the bit that confuses me, right? So Mbokani, we got him on loan, and we all knew that there was a part in the contract that said we could sign him for £5.5 million at the end of it. Now, apparently, Mbokani is going to be leaving Dynamo Kiev, which means that he's going to be on a free. So that doesn't make sense to me. We either sign him for £5.5 million or we sign him for a free. Now, it doesn't take a genius to work which is the better deal out of that. I don't personally think Mbokani will be coming back to Norwich City. I think, you know, he done okay for us. I loved Mbokani. I loved the chance. I loved everything. But I don't think, one, we'll be able to accept his wage demands. Two, I don't think he'll want to be playing in the Championship. And is he really the player we need in the Championship? I think he'd do a job, but I think there's probably better players out there for a cheaper price. So I think Mbokani and Norwich City could be over, which is very sad to say. And the last bit of news is that Ed Balls, of course, our chairman, insists that Norwich will look to keep their best players this summer. I suppose this is a bit of a generic article, really. He has to come out and say this. He's not going to come out and say, yeah, we're going to be selling all of our best players because we want the cash into my back pocket. He's not going to be saying that, is he? This is probably all following Nathan Redmond's fantastic run of form for the England under-21 side. He said Nathan is showing his stuff out in the under-21 tournament at the moment. Scored a great goal last night, and I think everybody at the football club wants to keep hold of our players and our best players going into the Championship next season. As manager Alex Neil has said, the reality is there's going to be people looking at what's happening at Norwich City. Ed Balls also talked about filling in David McNally's role. He said, we decided to get the best to help us, and that means we don't have to just wait and see who comes to us. But we'll also go out and look right across the whole football world and potentially more widely, although I think we're looking for a deep football experience to make sure we get the best. That sounds very similar to when Dave McNally were looking on a European-wide search for the replacement to Neil Adams. In the end, we went... Oh, no, that was when we were replacing Chris Hughton, wasn't it? And we got Neil Adams, who was the under-21 manager. Anyway, let's just hope that goes better than the Neil Adams appointment did. Anyway, that is today's news. Graham Dorrans could be leaving. What else did we have? Mbokani, do you think he'll join Norwich City? We've got Rafael Benitez to Newcastle. How surprised are you about that? Will that improve the competitiveness in the Championship next season? And also Ed Balls, what do you make of his comments? They are today's bits of news. This is my breakfast. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you very soon for another video here on Talk Norwich City. Thanks for watching, and peace out.